Remnants and scraps are such a headache. You don't know what to do with them. They take all the storage in your sewing room and it's such a pity to throw them away. So I've been thinking about different ideas, different 10-minute projects with scraps so we can use them. And I've already chosen my pieces of fabric I'm going to be using. The first one is this canvas. It's a thin canvas, but I made myself a dress before YouTube. And it was such a nice dress. I wore it to a wedding and it's a lovely material. And I also made last year a pouch bag to take to the beach. And then the other ones are these two, which I used to make my son a nap time sort of mattress or playtime mattress that he's never used. I really like sewing, but I like sewing things that are going to be useful, things that are going to have a purpose. I don't like sewing just for the sake of sewing and leaving something there without any use. I like things that are going to be handy for me or for the house and that are going to have a purpose. Even though I made the nap mattress and it wasn't a success, but I thought it was going to be some sort of, I don't know. Well, anyways, so these are going to be really handy, things that are going to be used all the time, so they need a strong seam. The three of them are going to share the French seam. French seams are really useful because everything is hidden and it gives the project structure and it doesn't fray or anything like that. And having the overlocker a bit as I have it, I haven't had time to figure out what it has, what's wrong with it, so I'm going to go with French seams. And to do French seam, what we have to do is to sew, instead of right sides together, so the seam is hidden in the wrong side, we're going to sew wrong sides together. And that seam that you can see from the outside, then we're going to put it right sides out, no, wrong sides out, and sew it again, and that way it keeps hidden in between those two seams. You don't see anything, it gives a structure and it's really strong and durable. And the first one is a replacement for a thing I use a lot, but I'm a bit ashamed of showing it because it looks terrible. I use it so much that this is the state of it. So it's for your ¿cómo se llaman? Pegs. It's for your pegs. When you're hanging your clothes, you hang this and you have your pegs here, and it's also useful. We use it a lot, but I always forget it and it stays in the sunshine, and this is the state of it. It's just, it was a thin material and it's not, this is terrible. It's terrible, and when it's rained, it even has stains as well. So let's make a replacement with this thicker canvas so it can last a bit longer. Of course, I have my model here, you don't, but I'll tell you the measurements. It measures 34 centimeters long by 30 centimeters wide. And it's almost a square of material. And I'm going to use the hanger because there's nothing wrong with it and the material is okay, so I'm going to be using this one. But if you don't have that one, because this is a straight hanger, if you have a clothes hanger, these ones, the normal ones that go down on a diagonal, you just need to follow that line and draw a trace around your hanger to create it, so it will be the same. So I have my thicker canvas for this project and some bias tape in turquoise. I'm not going to be going all around the thing with bias tape, but only on the whole bit, because I'm going to make the French seam. I've decided to do that, but you could do it, of course. Because of the French seam, you have to take into account to leave double the amount of seam allowance. So I'm going to be cutting this measurement, sort of, and leaving 2 centimeters seam allowance because of the French seam. As you can see, one of the panels has a hole to take the pegs out. So I'm going to be cutting that hole and sewing the bias tape before sewing them two together. The bias tape is just sewn on top, so I'm just going to fold it and sew it on top as it is. It's not anything you're going to wear and you want it to be fancier, so I'm just going to sew it like that. Once I have this hemmed, I can put wrong sides together and sew all around it, all around the square, well, rectangle. Now I can cut the corners so they are not bulky once I sew the second seam. And before that, I'm going to as well press it a little bit so it's quite flat. And this is the result. I didn't realize this was going to be seam, this back bit, so I just made sure it wasn't going to fray by hem it again, stitch it on top, and then anyways the hanger covers it. It's not that you can see it or anything. And this is it. It's quite good, isn't it? Ha! Because I'm filming the videos, it takes me a long time. It probably took me like an hour to do this because I move the camera, I come here and speak, I show, I record, I film, loads of stuff. But I've been looking at the clock, and in less than 15 minutes you can have this done with no problem at all. So have a go at it. I've been wanting to make this project for such a long time. I don't know why I haven't done it, but it's been in my list forever, and it is a little bag to take my toddler's mid-afternoon snack for when we go out. You go to the park, you go for a walk, and you take a banana or biscuits or something. And it's always in the way, I don't know where to put it. I always put it in a tote bag, but it's too big in your handbag, so I need a sort of little bread bag, a small size bread bag to take his snacks. I'm going to use this cotton. It's a poplin, it's quite nice and soft, and one thing, when you use remnants or scraps, try to use the bit that can make it a bit more square for next time if you have some left over, because that way you make the most out of it. Don't just cut like crazy, just have a look and try to make the most out of it. And I'm going to be using the selvage edge on the top, so that way I don't have to double hem on the opening, just a simple hem. Because I have enough material, I can fold, so I don't have to cut two rectangles but one long waist, so it can be folded, and that will be the bag. So one of the sides is already done, and I'm going to be making it so that the final bag is 25 by 25. Because it's going to be like a bread bag, I'm going to need a canal in which I'm going to insert a cotton ribbon. So for that, I'll be cutting a 4 cm wide strip of material, same length. It doesn't matter the length because I'm going to be hemming the two ends. And now that the two ends are hemmed, I can, with the help of the iron, fold longwise so I get the hem to be able to attach it to the bag. Now I'm going to secure this strip of material onto the open bag, still open, so I can stitch it. Pins, basting, what to do. Again, these are projects you can do in 10 minutes, so the good thing about this is that you can have it in no time at all. But if you feel more comfortable basting, go ahead. Now I can fold my fabric so I can French seam those two edges, being really careful not to sew or to stitch on top of the two canals that remain. And because I left the selvage edge on top, I could leave it like that really, but I'm going to make a simple hem just folding once. To insert the ribbon, we're going to need a safety pin, and one thing you can do is to secure the other end with a pin just in case it goes behind, but I don't think it needs it because it's not an elastic band that's going to go after the other one really fast, but if it makes you more comfortable, you can do it. Now I'm going to zigzag stitch the two ends together, or you can even make a knot because we're going to pull so it goes inside and you don't see it, so it doesn't really matter. And this is my snack bag finish. I think it's ideal, and not only for children, you can have it for your office, to take it to your office for your mid-morning snack, so I think it's quite good. And for the next project, I want to do something that maybe is a bit old-fashioned and people don't do anymore, and it is to put a bar of soap in your wardrobe or inside a drawer. It smells amazing. I brought this one down here this morning and the whole room is smelling of it. But to put it in a drawer, you will need a bag because they can get sticky or they can even stain something. So I want to make a bag for a bar of soap. And I'm going to be using this nice poplin in yellow, and again, because it has a weird shape, try to square them up. So I'm going to be using that bit down there. So the plan is to make like a sort of cushion cover, this one that overlap on the top, but in a tiny size. I'm going to be making it a bit bigger in case I change soaps, but I'm going to make sure that the fabric longwise overlaps it. Once cut to the desired measurement, I'm going to hem the two ends of it. And now that this is done, I can, with the help of pins, keep it in place so I can sew with a French seam the other sides. First on the right side, so that I can cut corners and do it on the wrong side. And this has been the project. It is a good idea because only from putting it in, it stained all the edge, but it doesn't matter. I hope you've enjoyed these ideas to do with little scraps you have around, little remnants, or just to practice, if you're a beginner, to practice different seams and straight lines as well. And don't forget to subscribe if you like this kind of content. I upload a video once a week. I would really appreciate it if you do, and if you give it a like as well. and I leave you the projects I did with this, because I just remember I made a dress out of this material. So I leave you a pouch bag and a dress for later. Bye!